Hello and welcome once again to this episode of Roovin Ideas. This channel we spread ideas about things we go into, about the ideas to make money, about ideas to make it in life, we share a lot of ideas. So if this is your first time here, I would like you to click on the subscribe button so you subscribe. And if this video is interesting enough for you, I would like you to click on the like button also and on the notification sign so that you get notified whenever we post our videos. Today we're going to be talking about mistakes while going into fish farming. Remember in our previous videos we talked about fish, we started our own fish farming and all that. Today I'll be telling you about the mistakes I made while going into fish farming, household fish farming, farming at the backyard of my apartment. So let's go right into it. The number one mistake I make while going into the fish farming business was that I was in a hurry. I didn't get my fishes from a reputable dealer. I just went and bought fish. It's my first time. Yeah, it's prime to make mistakes. I'm prone to mistakes and all that. I just bought and I was in a hurry to make everything happen all at once. So I didn't think about their space. Fishes need space in their environment. You need and it involves a lot of money while going into fish farming. If anyone tells you it doesn't, that person is lying. While going into fish farming, you have to consider the funds. Feeding, one thing, like currently now, this is March 2022 that I'm making this video. Currently now, the prices of fish feeds is up to 20,000 naira per bag. So you have to consider all these before going into fish farming. The mistake, as I was saying, the mistake I made, first of all, was not getting my fish from a reputable fish farm, or I would rather say they just gave me the shaft, like the fingerlings or the juvenile that was remaining. I just bought it, and without prior knowledge to all this, I'm experiencing a bit of a stunted growth to my fishes. Secondly, on their first week, I used the drum rather than getting something spacious for them. So I encountered a lot of fatalities. A lot of my fishes died. So many things happened during that processes. We were having issues, having issues with our plumbing. We did our plumbing okay, but there were issues that we were having with plumbing, with water, with a lot of things. I would advise anybody while going into fish farming to plan. You have to make everything readily available. Plan and plan. Plan and plan again before going into it. I watched a lot of videos though. I was, gingered. I was enticed with the outcome. I'm still enticed, but I know after this, my stock, after I finish getting my stock to about 1 kg or more, I would sell. And when going into it again, I'll make a lot of planning. I'll probably get a land, even if it's a 50 by 50, a land, and I'll construct a pond. I see people talking about, training your fish in plastic, this thing, what's it called? A drum, I did all that. But the more they grow, the more they consume feeds, the more the water gets dirty, the more, in short, in fish farming, the only thing that will save you to make you have money is planning. I'm experiencing stunted growth. They are dying, bloated stomach. Some of the mistakes I made, like I was saying, first of all, was not planning. I didn't have a very good plan while going into it. I would say I rushed into it. I rushed into the fish farming business. And I would say, well, I'm regretting a bit of it, but well, it's learning. I'm learning a lot from it, and I'm trying to share my experience to you tell you things you ought to do, things you should know before going into it. Then after not getting from a reputable dealer, I made a mistake also when I went to buy their feed. I was anxious. They just they gave me, I think, 1.8 feed, a full bag for 500 fishes, and a full bag for 500 fish. They didn't take up to 2 before I noticed they needed change of feeds. They needed to go to 2 kg and more. So I bought 2 kg and I started feeding them 2 kg. Along the line, I noticed they started getting bigger, and the pond in which they are is now getting smaller. They started eating each other. They started, I started experiencing shortage. The water started getting dirty frequently. And one other mistake I make was drainage. I channeled the water out in the street. Fish water smells. It smells when you don't change the water frequently. I change my water right now every blessed day, or twice, or once every 2 days. That is how often I change my water, so that it doesn't smell and irritates the neighbor. If you're doing stuff like this, you should think about your neighbors also. So that is another big mistake I made. And one thing I noticed is that if the water gets dirty, the fishes don't eat. They don't eat. They hardly eat while the water is dirty. So it eventually means I would have to get fresh water. I'll have to change the water for them if I want them to eat. And if they don't eat, they don't grow. So it necessitates me to increasingly and frequently change the water of my fishes, so that they start growing. Why I'm doing this video is I have a lot of folks out there who are trying or who wants to get into this business. I wouldn't want them to pass through the same struggles I did, through the same struggles I'm passing through right now. I would want you to have a flawless growth of your fishes. While going into catfish, these are mistakes you should consider in making. You will make mistake, quite all right, but there are some you should mitigate. It shouldn't be much. Catfish farming is not as glorious as everybody wants you to believe it is. It is stressful, it is time consuming, and if you have a job, a pre-existing job, and you want to put catfish farming as a side hustle, it's going to take much of your time. I get up as early as 5:30 to change my water before going to work. I come back late at night. Imagine the stress. I'm at work, I'm thinking, I need to hurry back home so that I need to feed them. So it's not something you consider like you just sit down and consider. It's not stress. It's time consuming, except you work from home. That's different. But if you have to, go across town in carrying out your business, catfish farming is very, very stressful. Then talk about the feeding. The feeding is another thing. You have to keep money for feeds. These guys eat more than me. They eat a lot. Within a month, you spend close to 20-something thousand naira in feeding alone of fishes. So you should consider if you have spare cash to give to your fishes. That's one thing about fish farming. The feeds, you have steady water. What if you are sharing water with somebody in your house? If you don't have a steady water supply, that's another barrier. Then you have to test your water, if it's alkaline or acidic in nature, to know the kind of water you have, to know if it is good for the fishes. A lot of things goes into consideration while going into fish farming, my dear. It's not that easy. It's a journey for me. I would keep making videos educating all those who wants to go into fish farming on the problems they might encounter on the way. But I wouldn't let that stop you if you want to go into it. Like myself, I'm into it already, and I'm thinking of expansion. No longer the backyard farm. I'm thinking of having my own, fish pond. My own fish pond. I'm encouraging you guys to go into it. Don't watch this video and after watching this video you say, wow, this is stressful, this is... No. I'm just trying to mitigate the problems you might have for you and tell you to keep funds while going into it. It's not about getting the fingerlings or the juvenile. That is about 30 to 40 naira per fingerlings. It's not that expensive. It's getting their water, getting their feed, construction of a proper drainage, steady taking care of them, checking their acidity and the alkalinity level of the water. They need steady attention. They need steady attention for you to understand your fishes properly. Thank you very much. And if this video was educative enough for you, I would like you to click on the subscribe button. Click on the subscribe button and click on the notification button so that you get notified when our video pops up. Then, if this video is once more educative for you, you should click on the like button and comment on what else you would want me or what you think I didn't talk about, so that when making my next episode, I'll tell you more about that. Thank you very much. This is Roovin Idea, your #1 channel on YouTube for ideas and all that.